My wife chose her family over me after they demanded I hand over my savings for their crypto scheme. So when she said, I choose them, I filed for divorce that same night and left her an empty apartment 3 days later. When I married Emily, I knew her family was intense, loud, opinionated, meddling. But I figured it was just one of those quirks you learn to navigate. Her parents weren't bad people, just the kind who believed their daughter could do no wrong, and that any man she married should essentially become an extension of their household. For 3 years I managed. I kept the peace, ignored the passive-aggressive comments, paid for dinners when her dad forgot his wallet, and nodded through endless monologues about real men and family loyalty. But everything shifted the night they introduced me to what they called a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It was crypto. Their crypto. A shady, no-name coin her brother and his friend launched in their garage. They wanted $42,000, my entire savings, to help the family get in early. They insisted Emily and I would be millionaires by Christmas, and that as their son-in-law, I was obligated to support their future. I told them no. Calmly, rationally, respectfully. They did not take it well. Her mom said I was blocking Emily's path to generational wealth. Her brother accused me of being financially insecure. Her dad demanded a man-to-man talk in the kitchen, which ended with him yelling inches from my face. Emily stayed silent the whole time. I left that night thinking she was just overwhelmed, that she'd call the next morning and apologize for them. Instead, the next day, her parents invited us over again. And this time, they didn't dance around anything. Her dad looked at her and said, "He stands in the way of your future. Make her choose, us or you." I laughed because I honestly thought it was a joke. Emily didn't laugh. She wouldn't even look at me. She kept her eyes on the floor like a kid caught breaking curfew. And then she whispered, "I choose them." Just like that. No hesitation. No conversation beforehand. No attempt to even explain it. She chose the people who treated me like an ATM over the man she promised a life with. I felt something go quiet inside me in that moment. Not anger. Not heartbreak. Just clarity. I said, "Understood." I stood up, grabbed my jacket, and left their house without slamming the door. No drama. No begging. No guilt. That evening, while she was still celebrating her choice at her parents' place, I filed for divorce. And for the first time in months, I slept peacefully. 3 days later, she finally came home. To an apartment that was empty. To a key that no longer turned the lock. To a marriage I had already walked away from. When Emily finally called me, it wasn't to apologize. It was to scream. The moment she found the empty apartment, my phone lit up nonstop. 14 missed calls in under 10 minutes. I let them ring. Eventually, she left a voicemail, her voice shaking between anger and panic. "Where are you? Why is everything gone? You can't just leave. We need to talk." The irony almost made me laugh. The woman who chose her parents over her husband was suddenly furious that her husband didn't wait around to be chosen again. I didn't respond. By that evening, the calls had turned into long, rambling texts. "You blindsided me. We were supposed to work through things together. This isn't what I meant when I said I choose them. You're being dramatic. Come home so we can fix this." I said nothing. Instead, I forwarded her the divorce petition and noted the date of our court appointment. That was the only message I sent her. Within an hour, her mother was calling me from 3 different numbers, leaving voicemails about how family disagreements are normal and how Emily didn't mean it like that. Right. Because saying, "I choose them," in response to an ultimatum was apparently a linguistic misunderstanding. The next day, I got a call from an unknown number. It was Emily's brother, the crypto genius himself. He didn't ask about his sister. He didn't ask why I left. He didn't even pretend to care about the marriage. He just said, "Since you're not part of the family anymore, you owe us for wasting our time. That coin's gonna blow up soon. You'll regret walking away." I hung up mid-sentence. A week passed. Emily kept calling, mostly crying now. Less attitude, more desperation. She begged for clarity, closure, a conversation. I ignored every message, every attempt, every guilt trip. Then I got a text from her best friend, someone who had always been honest with me, even when Emily wasn't. "She's losing it. She thought you'd chase her. Her parents told her you'd come crawling back. They didn't expect you to actually leave. Interesting how people who treat you as optional always assume you'll stay." 3 days later, Emily showed up at my new place. She waited outside my building for almost an hour, crying, pacing, calling me repeatedly. When I finally walked up the sidewalk from work, she rushed toward me like nothing had ever happened. "Please," she whispered, grabbing my sleeve, mascara streaking down her cheeks. "Just talk to me. We can fix this." I didn't mean what I said. I was pressured. I gently pulled my arm away. "No," I said. "You made a choice. I just respected it." She shook her head, panicked. "It was the wrong choice. I didn't think you'd actually leave." That hit me harder than anything else she'd said. She didn't think I'd leave. Not that she didn't want me to leave, just that she assumed I wouldn't. Because in her mind, choosing her family over me wasn't a marriage-ending decision. It was just another day where she expected me to swallow my pride and take it. But I wasn't that man anymore. I told her calmly, "You chose your family, so stay with them." Her face crumpled. For once, she didn't have a comeback. She tried to follow me inside, but the security guard stepped in. I walked past her, entered the elevator, and watched the doors close while she stood there crying, realizing that the safety net she thought she had was gone. That night, her mother sent me one final text. "You're abandoning your family responsibilities. We'll never forgive you." Good. I didn't need their forgiveness. I needed my freedom. Update that I wasn't planning to post an update, but things escalated faster than I expected, and somehow even messier. 3 days after Emily showed up at my building crying, her entire family decided to launch what I can only describe as a coordinated guilt trip campaign. I don't know if they held a meeting or a group chat, but they came at me from every direction. First was her mom, who texted me a wall of messages about how I abandoned my duties as a husband, how Emily was emotionally fragile, and how true men fight for their marriage. Then came her dad, who tried the intimidation route. "Marriage is for life. You took vows. You don't get to walk away just because you're mad." I had to reread it twice because these were the same people who gave her an ultimatum to choose them or me. But now suddenly I'm the one breaking the family? I didn't reply. Then her brother tried again with the crypto nonsense. "You're being stupid. This coin is about to go sky high. If you don't join now, don't come crying when we're rich." Right. Because nothing screams financial security like a grown man running a crypto scam from his childhood bedroom. I ignored him too. Later that evening, Emily texted me from her friend's phone. I guess I finally blocked enough of her numbers that she ran out. She said she was staying at her parents' house and they were devastated and didn't know how to help her. She said she couldn't eat. She said she couldn't sleep. She said she made a mistake and wasn't thinking straight when she chose them. I didn't respond. But then came the part that made me sit down. Her friend, the honest one, messaged me separately. "Just so you know, her family isn't devastated. They're furious because they plan to use your savings as startup capital. They're only telling her to get you back so you'll pay up." That was the moment everything clicked. Emily wasn't trying to save the marriage. Her parents weren't trying to fix anything. None of them were actually hurt by the divorce. They were hurt by losing access to my bank account. 2 days later, things escalated again. Emily's dad showed up at my work. He stormed into the lobby demanding to speak to me, yelling that I ruined his daughter's life and that I owed them a chance to explain. Security had to escort him out while he shouted about crypto and loyalty and family obligations. Yes, this happened in front of my boss. An hour later, Emily texted me saying she had no idea her dad would do that. But in the same breath, she asked if we could pause the divorce until everyone calms down. That told me everything I needed to know. They weren't sorry. They weren't changed. They just wanted another shot at getting their hands on my savings. I responded with the first full sentence I'd sent her in weeks. "There will be no pause. I'm moving forward." She didn't reply, but her mom did. "If you go through with this, we will never forgive you." Perfect. Because I wasn't looking for forgiveness. I was looking for a life that didn't revolve around people who saw me as a walking wallet. Final update that it's been 5 months since everything collapsed. The ultimatum, the divorce filing, her parents showing up at my work, all of it. Life didn't snap back into place. It didn't magically get better, but it did settle. It's quieter now, heavier in some ways, lighter in others. And here's how things ended. The divorce hearing. Emily showed up looking nervous, smaller somehow. No family in sight. I'm guessing they realized the court wouldn't care about their crypto potential. She tried to talk to me before we went in. Her voice shook when she said, "We don't have to end it like this. We can work through it without them." I believed the fear in her voice. I did not believe the motive behind it. You don't unchoose someone just because you're scared to be alone. And you don't salvage a marriage by pretending the betrayal wasn't real. So I told her the truth she'd been avoiding for months. You didn't choose them over me. You chose the version of you that only exists with them. And I don't fit into that version. She cried, quietly, but didn't argue. The divorce was finalized in 15 minutes. No alimony. She earns more. No shared property. No contested assets. No drama. Just signatures and silence. When it was over, she reached for me like she wanted a hug. I stepped back. She understood. The fallout with her family. I figured her family would fade out of my life the minute the papers were signed, but I underestimated their appetite for grudges. Her dad sent me one last email, accusing me of destroying their daughter's future and costing the family millions. Her mom posted a long rant online about certain men who abandoned their responsibilities. Her brother DM'd me a month later with, "Too late now? We're already 10x. Could have made you rich." Out of curiosity, I checked the coin. It had crashed to almost zero. Part of me wanted to screenshot it and send it back to him. The other part, the healthier part, closed the tab and moved on. They're not my business anymore. Emily's last message. 3 weeks ago, Emily sent me a short text. No drama, no crypto, no begging. Just, I thought choosing my family made me strong. But it just made me dependent on people who don't know how to love without control. I'm sorry. I hope you're okay. I stared at it for a long time, and I realized something. I wasn't angry anymore. Not even hurt. Just done. I replied with the only thing that felt honest. I hope you figure out who you are without them. She didn't respond, and I think that's for the best. Where I am now, divorce doesn't fix you. It just removes the thing breaking you. The weeks after were rough. The silence in my new apartment was overwhelming at first. Going to sleep without the sound of another person breathing felt unnatural. I kept catching myself thinking in we. But slowly, painfully, it shifted. I started cooking again. Started running again. Started sleeping through the night. Started recognizing myself in the mirror. I'm not better yet, but I'm honest in my own life again. And that's enough for now. If I learned anything from all this, it's this. You can't build a marriage with someone who can't stand without the people who control them. And you can't save someone who won't step out of their family's shadow. I didn't lose a partner. I let go of a person who wasn't ready to stand next to me, only behind her parents. The apartment is quiet, but the quiet feels earned. In the future, whatever it is, finally feels like mine again.